This is P13 to Ridgeworth Island. This stop is 27th Street and Dippers Road. Next stop, Dippers Road into 105th Street. This stop is Dippers Road into 105th Street. Next stop, Dippers Road into 103rd Street. This stop is Dippers Road into 103rd Street. Next stop, Dippers Road into 101st Street. This stop is Dippers Road into 101st Street. Next stop, Dippers Road in 199th Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 199th Street. Next stop, Dippers Road in 197th Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 197th Street. Next stop, Dippers Road in 195th Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 195th Street. Next stop, Dippers Road in 193rd Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 193rd Street. Next stop, Dippers Road in 191st Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 191st Street. Next stop, Dippers Road. Next stop, Dippers Road in 189th Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 189th Street. Next stop, Dippers Road in 187th Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 187th Street. Next stop, Dippers Road in 185th Street. This stop is Dippers Road in 185th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 184th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 184th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 182nd Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 182nd Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 179th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 179th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 177th Street. Transfers available to C48 and P13 Limited. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 177th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 175th Street. This stop is Toru. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 175th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 173rd Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 173rd Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 171st Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 171st Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 169th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 169th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 167th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 167th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 165th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 165th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 163rd Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 161st Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 158th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 158th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 155th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 153rd Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 149th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 149th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 147th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 147th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 145th Street. Transfers available to P13 Limited, C95 and C95 Limited. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 145th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 143rd Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 143rd Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 141st Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 141st Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 139th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 139th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 135th Street. Transfers available to P13 Limited. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 135th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 133rd Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 133rd Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 131st Street. Transfers available to X46. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 131st Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 129th Street. Transfers available to P13 Limited. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 129th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard in 127th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard in 127th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 125th Street. Transfers available to P13 Limited and K78 Limited. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 125th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 123rd Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 123rd Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 121st Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 121st Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and Raisin Avenue. Transfers available to C1. This stop is Toru Boulevard and Raisin Avenue. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 116th Street. Transfers available to P13 Limited, C71, C75 SBS, C76, C89 and C90 SBS. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 116th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 113th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 113th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 110th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 110th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 1/8th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 1/8th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 1/6th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 1/6th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 1/4th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 1/4th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 101st Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 101st Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 98th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 98th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 96th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 96th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and Uri Boulevard. This stop is Toru Boulevard and Uri Boulevard. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and North 69th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and North 69th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and North 67th Street. This stop is Toru Boulevard and North 67th Street. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and Yo-Yo Road. This stop is Toru Boulevard and Yo-Yo Road. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and 7th Avenue. This stop is Toru Boulevard and 7th Avenue. Next stop, Toru Boulevard and Waterside Boulevard. Transfers available to C12, C12 Limited, P13 Limited and P101. This stop is Toru Boulevard and Waterside Boulevard. Next stop, 5th Avenue and Toru Boulevard. Transfers available to P3 and P3 Limited. This stop is 5th Avenue and Toru Boulevard. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 59th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 59th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 57th Street. Transfers available to the B, D, E and K trains. L57. This stop is 5th Avenue and 57th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 55th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 55th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 53rd Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 53rd Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 51st Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 51st Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 49th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 49th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 47th Street. Transfers available to P3, P3 Limited, P4 SBS, P5, P6, P13 Limited, C70, K91, L200 and L201. This stop is 5th Avenue and 47th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 44th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 44th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. Transfers available to P2. This stop is 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 40th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 40th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 38th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 38th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 36th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 36th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 34th Street. Transfers available to the B, D and K trains. This stop is 5th Avenue and 34th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 32nd Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 32nd Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 30th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 30th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 28th Street. Transfers available to P13. This stop is 5th Avenue and 28th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 26th Street. Transfers available to B, D and K trains. P20 SBS. This stop is 5th Avenue and 26th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 24th Street. Transfers available to P20 SBS. This stop is 5th Avenue and 24th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 22nd Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 22nd Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and Fairview Avenue. Transfers available to B, D, E and K trains. This stop is 5th Avenue and Fairview Avenue. Next stop, 5th Avenue and Booth Street. Transfers available to B, D, L and K trains. This stop is 5th Avenue and Booth Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 14th Street. Transfers available to the 7, B, D, E, K and S trains. P2, P3, P3 Limited, P4, P6, P10, P13 Limited, P14, P17, X16, W11, W37 and PC53. This stop is 5th Avenue and 14th Street. Next stop, 5th Avenue and 11th Street. This stop is 5th Avenue and 11th Street. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Joralemon Street. Transfers available to the N train. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Joralemon Street. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Trenton Avenue. Transfers available to W25. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Trenton Avenue. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Calgary Street. Transfers available to the B, J, M, N and Q trains. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Calgary Street. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Finch Avenue. Transfers available to the W4. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Finch Avenue. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Panthalasic Avenue. Transfers available to W4 and W56. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Panthalasic Avenue. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Kingsbridge Road. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Kingsbridge Road. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Vanderbilt Avenue. Transfers available to the N train and W4. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Vanderbilt Avenue. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Dean Street. Transfers available to the N train. W4. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Dean Street. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Presidential Highway. Transfers available to the N and Q trains. W4 and W81. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Presidential Highway. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Bay 63rd Street. Transfers available to W4. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Bay 63rd Street. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Avenue Q. Transfers available to the N train. W4. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Avenue Q. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and 20th Avenue. Transfers available to W4. This stop is Callahan Avenue and 20th Avenue. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and 18th Avenue. Transfers available to the N train. W4. This stop is Callahan Avenue and 18th Avenue. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and 16th Avenue. This stop is Callahan Avenue and 16th Avenue. Next stop, Callahan Avenue and Bay 72nd Street. This stop is Callahan Avenue and Bay 72nd Street. Next stop, Ridgeworth Island and Ridgeworth Avenue. Transfers available to W4, W54, W75 Limited, K15 and P13 Limited. This stop is Ridgeworth Island and Ridgeworth Avenue. This is P13 to Ridgeworth Island. This is a Ridgeworth Island bound P13. Please exit through the rear door.